Headlines is presented by Calvo's Insurance, a legacy of trust, serving Micronesia since 1938. Matson celebrating 25 years of commitment to Guam, Micronesia, and the CNMI. Cars Plus, home of Guam's first and only lifetime powertrain warranty. Visit carsplusguam.com for details. McDonald's of Guam, I'm loving it, and King's Restaurant, serving your local breakfast, lunch, and dinner favorites for over 45 years.
Now, on your primetime news, what needs to be done in order to improve on response efforts regarding domestic and family abuse? We'll tell you coming up. Plus, in order to reach herd immunity, the Guam National Guard has expanded its vaccination efforts. And calling village leaders underappreciated, the Mayor's Council of Guam appeared in front of lawmakers for their budget hearing.
Hafa good evening, everyone. Guahusi Isaiah Uggan, and thanks for tuning in. Community members feel GPD's Domestic Assault Response Team, or DART, is lacking in response time and ultimately feel the system is failing victims. This comes after a woman was murdered in her apartment in front of her children. The man accused of her death, John Richard Bass, who the slain mother attempted to report, as did woman from his past. KUAM's questioned Chief of Police Stephen Ignacio on this case.
Guam Police Department Chief Stephen Ignacio says he has asked the Criminal Investigation Division in their DART unit to look into the homicide of 39-year-old Virginia Laguanya. Laguanya was brutally stabbed to death on Sunday, June 6th inside her residence at Hotel Mayana in Tamuning. John Richard Bass III is being held on a $1 million cash bail and faces murder charges for Laguanya's death. It was learned that Laguanya was in a relationship with Bass. However, according to a family member's social media post, she had been trying to leave him and made multiple reports to GPD.
And then I also asked them because I was aware that another victim of this suspect had come forward. And so I asked them to look at all of those cases as well.
In an exclusive interview with KUAM, Bass's ex-girlfriend, Beauty Camacho, spoke out about her traumatic past, having endured years of harassment from the defendant. Ignacio says an assessment on these cases and the process and procedures of dealing with domestic violence victims is underway. But it's no secret the department needs help.
Can the DART unit use more officers? Absolutely. The Guam Police Department in general, as a whole, can use more officers.
It's been an ongoing challenge as GPD and other law enforcement agencies are losing officers to retirement and resignations.
Sometimes you feel like you're fighting a losing battle, but you just keep fighting. You can never give up because, this is the police department and we have to serve our communities. According
to Ignacio, there are only 2 investigators and 2 victim advocates under the DART unit.
Yes, absolutely. And, let me just also put it out there that the Domestic Assault Response Team, the DART unit, is not only responsible for domestic violence cases, they also oversee family violence cases, but more importantly, also the criminal sexual conduct cases. And as we know, we lead the nation in domestic violence. Sexual assault cases. We try and, respond to all the cases that we can.
Victims Advocate Reaching Out, or VARO President Judy Wanpat, says there is definitely room for improvement when responding to domestic violence victim reports.
That was my frustration, is that, is there someone then not at the desk, because they weren't picking up, the phone, or were they all out, on the field? I don't know, but I know that there are cases, like I said, where the response was quick and other times they're not. Most definitely the first line of defense will be the police, and that's where they need to beef up, maybe the number of individuals that are a part of DART.
Reporting for Guam's News Network, I'm Adriana Cotero.
Last Saturday, the Guam Police Department and Public Health responded to a complaint at a Dededo home, but it wasn't because they were cockfighting. Tyler Manzanani has our next story.
Last weekend, the Guam Police Department, alongside Public Health, responded to a complaint at the Dededo Cockfighting Dome. Not because of cockfighting, but because they violated social gathering rules. Chief of Police Steve Ignacio.
The only thing I'm aware of is that I did get a call and we were asked to support public health. Yeah, so I'm not tracking that the Guam Police Department issued a citation. It may have been public health. Right. We were there just to assist them because of the large crowd that was involved.
The island's state of emergency currently permits gatherings of no more than 100 people. However, Public Health PIO Janela Carrera says that when they arrived, they observed more than the allowed capacity, along with several people not wearing face masks and a lack of social distancing.
We did issue a citation that evening, and it was actually issued to an individual because, you know, I'm not sure if there's a business license or an establishment that we would issue this citation to. And so this is actually our first time issuing to an individual in this instance.
When asked if a follow-up would be conducted, Carrera stated that whenever public health responds to these types of situations or any type of violation, it's driven by reports.
We rely on the community when they, submit a complaint or a report or observe any violations. So we're very grateful to the community for submitting those types of reports, even if it's anonymous. If we have reason to believe or suspect any type of violation is occurring, whether it's an eating or drinking establishment, a bar, a restaurant, or in this case, the Cockfighting Dome, then we will go out and investigate.
Carrera further stated that this was not the first time Public Health had received a complaint regarding the Dededo Dome. Reporting for Guam's News Network, I'm Tyler Matsinani.
The CDC has awarded Public Health a $6.5 million grant to go toward addressing COVID-19 health-related disparities. According to a media release, the intended outcomes of the funding includes improving and increasing testing and contact tracing and improving public health capacity and services to prevent and control COVID-19 infection. The grant is part of a $2.25 billion nationwide investment and is funded through the 2021 Coronavirus Response and Relief Supplemental Appropriations Act. In other news, while operations are stable at the island's main COVID vaccination clinic at the University of Guam Fieldhouse, the Guam National Guard is expanding their vaccination efforts with outreach teams. Here's more. According to a media release, the Guam National Guard is now maximizing its manpower and resources with community outreach teams. This after vaccination numbers remain steady at the UOG COVID-19 vaccine clinic. The outreach teams are called strike teams and are part of Operation Liberate Guam. It will comprise 7 medics, 5 data processors, and 5 traffic managers, including Guam Department of Public Health and Social Services staff. The teams are working to meet Governor Leon Guerrero's goal of herd immunity, or 80% eligible individuals on the island vaccinated against the virus by Guam's Liberation Day, July 21st. Guam National Guard Public Affairs Officer Mark Scott explained how the outreach works.
If you have an agency, a government agency or a business or even a community organization with about 50 people or more, don't call us for like 10 people, please. But if you got a group of people and you want us to come to you, just give us a call. We can accommodate you, we'll make it safe, we'll make it sanitary, we'll make it more convenient for you and your employees, even your employees' families. We can all work out the details and the logistics. Just give us a call, we'll come to you.
You can call 682-2172 to request a strike team to your establishment. The Guam Guard will also provide mobile vaccination teams, which comprise of 4 to 5 medics or shooters who can assist at vaccination points of distribution hosted by other agencies. The strike teams and vaccination teams have administered 1,500 COVID vaccines to the community at locations including the Dededo Farmers Market, Palawan Community Center, Tizen Carnival Grounds, Hyatt Regency Hotel, Jigo Gym, Port Authority of Guam, Micronesia Mall, and the Paseo Loop as of June 7th. Reporting for Guam's News Network, Wahusi Isaiah Uggan. What do we do when the hundreds of millions of dollars in federal pandemic assistance stop flowing later this year? That's the focus of an upcoming forum that will include representatives from every major business and trade organization in Guam. Nestor Lecanto reports.
Since the onset of the global pandemic, Guam's economic survival has relied heavily on mana from Washington. From the CARES Act to the American Rescue Plan, from pandemic unemployment assistance to economic impact payments, the money continues to pour in. But it won't last forever. And so representatives from the GHRA, the Association of Realtors, the Contractors Association, the Chamber, the Women's Chamber, the Chinese Chamber, the Korean Chamber, the Japan Guam Travel Association, and the Korean Travel Association will all be represented at an economic forum scheduled for June 24th at the Hyatt. GHRA President Mary Rhodes.
And we just strongly feel now is the time, as we're looking at reopening dates, And it's really time to build solidarity with everybody and get the economy going together with the government Guam. I know we've had a lot of community-based programs and community-based outreach efforts, but in order for us to reopen the economy, but especially tourism, a lot of businesses also need the help.
She says we need to look at ways to diversify the economy, as a full recovery of the visitor industry is still at least 2 years out. She adds that competitors such as Hawaii are enjoying a head start by allowing entry with a simple negative PCR test. Many in Guam's industry believe at the very least the governor should already allow in Korean tourists who've taken the AstraZeneca vaccine, even though it's not a U.S.-approved shot.
I know that we're going to have different opinions on that, but if we're going to accept an international market base for our tourism industry, we need to be able to work through and accept the standards that they've chosen.
GVB has said it's expecting the governor's approval soon. And even as we await the visitors' return, there are ways to stimulate the economy with local spending, such as a $500 restaurant card that was pitched before.
Now it's time to get those programs going where our residents can go out and support the businesses so we can hire people back at work and get money again recirculated back into the economy.
Seating at the Economic Forum will be limited, but live and recorded streams will also be available. For Guam's News Network, I'm Nestor Lecanto.
After more than a year, some 300 FSM citizens are still stranded on Guam, but there is also citizens stuck in Japan, China, Fiji, and New Zealand, as well as the U.S. mainland and Hawaii. FSM Consul General Teresa Philippines said that they are bringing those citizens to Guam for pre-departure quarantine before sending them home. Meanwhile, another set of FSM citizens on island will be making their way home through another repatriation flight next week. All 52 citizens are fully vaccinated against COVID and are in quarantine until they head back to Pohnpei on June 17th. Philippines shared with KUAM News that all returning citizens will need to be quarantined for 7 days before flying back home. And when they arrive in their state, they'll have to quarantine for an additional 7 days. Those who aren't immunized will have to quarantine for 14 days. Philippines says Kosrae, Chuk, and Yap are not ready to take in any citizens back through the repatriation flight. Stick around for more news here on Primetime. You're watching KUAM.
And instant prizes from Foot Locker and Burger King. Win the best-selling 2021 Toyota Corolla LE, the crossover SUV 2021 Toyota RAV4 LE, and the dynamic luxury SUV 2021 BMW X1. The more you shop, the more chance to win. In the Micronesia Malls, shop and win.
Half a day. As we look ahead to a brighter tomorrow, Matson's commitment to Guam and Micronesia remains stronger than ever. While the world around us is ever-changing, what remains unchanged is our commitment to you, our customers, and the island communities we serve. Shipping is what we do best, and serving our community is at the heart of everything we do. But we don't do it alone. This is why we support organizations that make caring for the people and the environment a top priority. We know that many count on Matson's lifeline services in the Pacific, and that's why we continue to work hard to ensure that our shipments remain on time all the time. Matson recently added another Aloha-class vessel to our schedule. We now have 2 of Matson's largest and fastest ships serving Guam from the U.S. West Coast and Hawaii. With our new state-of-the-art vessels, we stand ready to support the region's economic recovery. Thank you for the privilege of serving you for the last 25 years, and you can count on Matson to be here for the next 25 years and beyond.
While we've all been through a lot over the years,
typhoons, earthquakes, and now COVID-19,
we've been able to get through these together.
For more than 80 years, Cabos Insurance has been protecting your homes, your businesses,
and the health of your family.
We are here today and we'll be here tomorrow.
There are better days ahead. Tomorrow's a new day filled with hope and choices.
The possibilities of what we can achieve together are limitless.
Let's continue to work together to ensure a brighter tomorrow for all of us.
It's a special delivery to your inbox every week with your KUAM News Roundup, program advisories, and promotions. Sign up for the weekly KUAM Digital Digest today on KUAM.com.
Welcome back. The head of the Mayor's Council is laminating how much the village leaders are nearly underappreciated. Testifying at the Mayor's Council Guam Budget Hearing, Executive Director Angel Sablon said mayors were called upon to do an endless number of tasks related to the COVID pandemic. All this on top of their endless number of regular duties.
We have done all this and still carry out our usual roadside grass cutting and cleaning, chasing after illegal dump sites, picking up dead animals, and trying to control stray animals, providing mayor's verifications, and quite honestly, doing the thankless job that all our mayors and vice mayors and staff are mandated to do.
Mayors are seeking a more than $1 million increase in their fiscal year 2022 budget, which Sablon says is to cover increased personnel and utility costs.
Senators, this is our FY22 budget request and submission. Simple and straightforward. We have been castigated and criticized because the majority of our funding sources comes from the Guam Highway Fund and the Tourist Attraction Fund. This is not of our making. As you may see in our eyes and feel in our hearts, we are tired of being thrown under the bus.
The Mayor's Council is seeking a budget of $12.3 million in fiscal year 2022. That's about $1.8 million less than what they asked for in fiscal year 2021. But $1.4 million is more than what they were appropriated this year. Meanwhile, as senators continue with the budget hearings, they are still mostly in the dark about how much American Rescue Plan money will be used to support government operations. We asked the governor about that today, but she says they're still finalizing a spending plan for the more than $600 million in discretionary funds she has at her disposal.
We're still getting changes in the interim guidelines. We've just received more changes in relation to the non-entity funds. And so, nothing final has been decided, so it's still under review. By July 16th, we should be able to get something more final.
July 16th is the deadline to comment on the Treasury Department's interim final rule for U.S. use of ARP funds. The Global Dorms Emergency Shelter is currently housing about 150 people, many of which are children below the age of 10. The Office of Homelessness and Poverty Prevention is also trying to address a wait list of about 35 people. Tyler Mazzanani has the update on the Office of Homelessness and Poverty Prevention.
After more than half a year of searching, the Office of Homelessness and Poverty Prevention is finally getting some clarity about a second homeless shelter. OHAP Director Sarah Thomas Nedadog.
We're praying that all goes well and that shelter is opened up in July.
It looks like the new shelter will be in Tamuning, but they're still waiting for further details because it hasn't been secured. Nedadog says the reason for the holdup has to do with funding and that the federal government has been supportive in providing financial assistance to the island. But
getting it here on the ground and operational, getting those monies to be, out to where it's supposed to be is a process that doesn't go as quickly as we would all like it to be.
According to the director, the second shelter will more than likely be funded through the U.S. Housing and Urban Development.
They're doing everything they can and getting with our federal government liaisons to step it up as well so that we can get that money on the ground and get moving.
Additionally, she mentioned that the Department of Interior also provided some funding for a permanent shelter, and they hope to have one in place before the next fiscal year. Nedadog explains how the whole process has been very intense and oftentimes very complicated, but that it's something that they need to do and are focusing on. One thing's for sure, the only way from here is up. After months of work, they finally have a team of staff on board.
We do have a social worker on board, we have an admin person on board, and we have an outreach person, 2 outreach people on board. We're in the stage right now of evaluating the successes and the strengths and the areas that need to be improved.
Nedadog acknowledged Guam Behavioral Health as well as Public Health and the island's village mayors, who she says have been extremely helpful in making referrals for families in need.
If you identify a person who is homeless or you've gotten to the point where you don't want to stay with who you are with currently, you can call Guam Behavioral Health. They would really be the best ones, or call Global Dorms, and they'll provide you whatever assistance they can.
Reporting for Guam's News Network, I'm Tyler Matanani.
The Guam Ethics Commission is finalizing procurement of its new office at the GCIC building in Naganya, and Executive Director Jesse Kanga says a formal process for residents to submit ethics complaint is around the corner. Kanga also anticipates the governor signing into a law a bill unanimously passed by senators that would give the commission full autonomy. In the meantime, the commission is in receipt of financial disclosures filed by elected and appointed officials with the Guam Election Commission.
We're intending to keep them on file. If there are complaints that come up regarding an official, that will be involved, maybe a review of their financial disclosures if it's financially related. So, those things I think will support those types of investigations.
Kanga said he would like to increase accessibility to these documents and may consider an alert system to notify officials when someone is examining their financials.
We might consider posting some of that information online and make that available so that individuals can inspect for themselves what officials claim to be their sources of income.
Kanga adds 71 officials have filed their disclosures, while 55 officials have requested extensions for filing FDS forms, meaning they'll have until October to turn in their disclosures. Should elected officials and candidates for public office have to file campaign finance report more frequently? If the Guam Election Commission has their way, yes. GEC Executive Director Maria Pangilinan says in a perfect world, increasing the frequency of filing would give the agency more time to thoroughly review campaign donations and spending. Discussed specifically on the link, the Lou and Josh campaign fundraiser held when bars opened this year. Since the Lou and Josh campaign already filed an organizational report, they don't have to report how much they raised at that fundraiser until 10 days before the primary election in 2022.
That's one of our priority recommendations, to change the filing dates for campaign finance. So our recommendation is that we follow the Federal Election Commission of once you file an organizational report, then you'd be required to file a quarterly campaign finance report.
This recommendation was submitted to the GEC board. The board has also authorized Pangilinan to bring these ideas to the legislature for consideration, since senators would have to introduce a measure amending existing campaign finance laws. Pangilinan has said in the past that the current filing timelines don't allow for an adequate review of campaign finance since they can coincide with election preparation periods. The Department of Commerce Economic Development Authority, or EDA, is awarding a $2.4 million grant to the Port Authority of Guam. The funding will go to make disaster-resilient infrastructure improvements needed to ensure continuity of operations. According to a media release, the EDA grant, to be matched with more than $603,000 in local investment, is expected to create or retain nearly 50 jobs. According to Commerce Secretary Gina Raimondo, the Biden administration is committed to helping Guam build back better from the damage caused by Typhoon Wu-Tip in 2019 by developing the disaster-resilient infrastructure they need for a dynamic economy. After 5 years of many challenges, the home of the Lions has found its official home in Dededo. A groundbreaking ceremony was held Friday for the official campus of iLearn Academy Charter School. The Learning Institute Board Secretary and Treasurer Albert Santos gave remarks and said that with the help of Governor Lou Leon Guerrero and Lieutenant Governor Joshua Tenorio, the project will not be where it is today. Despite many hiccups, the 69,000 square foot structure will be ready this time next year.
And to the iLearn Charter School, 1 year from now, we're going to meet you here as we turn over the key to your new campus.
iLearn Academy Charter School Chief Academic Officer Rachel Sekou said that moving into a permanent facility will continue to improve the program that will train leaders to adapt to whatever needs Guam will call them to do in the future.
iLearn was conceived from a vision to afford all students here on Guam the opportunity to cultivate a love for learning within a STEM-based curriculum and to develop the necessary skills students need today to be successful, not just as 21st century learners, but also as leaders of our future. We dreamed of an environment in which students could, for themselves, dare to dream up solutions to real-world problems, and to dare to be creative and innovative in their problem solving in everything they do.
Sake said the dream came true when the school opened its campus to 136 students and a staff of 9. She pointed out that the school has progressed positively as it consistently has been ranking in the highest tier on island in the district in the areas of mathematics, reading, and English. The enlisted students continue to grow with 136 students and a staff of 9. They are now at 740 students and a staff of 53. Cortec LLC and the Guam Housing Urban and Renewal Authority were part of this project. It is funded by the Section 108 grant. Enlistments for the Guam National Guard have dipped within the last year. Guam National Guard Public Affairs Officer Mark Scott said the drop can be attributed to the COVID-19 pandemic.
We saw a little drop in our recruitment just because our recruiters haven't been able to do a lot of the things they normally do, like go out into the schools, make visits out into the community. All those things were shut down for the past year. But we did see some come through, and it's starting to pick up again.
To address the decrease, the Guard will be holding a job fair Saturday, June 12th from 11 a.m. to 3 p.m. at the center court of the Agania Shopping Center. The event will be free, open to the public, and will be featuring many agencies and community business partners. Be prepared to be interviewed, dress professionally, and bring your resume. All COVID safety protocols will be implemented. Sports is next. Keep it here.
Your community calendar is brought to you by Taco Bell. Whether it's your first meal or your fourth meal, we've got you covered. Taco Bell, live Mas.
KUAM News, in partnership with the Guam Visitors Bureau, brings you the Guam Safe and WTTC Safe Travel Certified Program Showcase. Look out for this powerful symbol for visitors, island residents, and industry workers alike, as it represents establishments with a consistent global commitment to safety practices. Stamped with approval by the Guam Visitors Bureau and the World Travel Tourism Council. Every Monday on KUAM News will feature a different local business who's taken the Safe Guam and Safe Travels pledge to maintain health and safety standards to get Guam back on track. Log on to visitguam.com to see how your business can receive the designation, what businesses in our community are Guam Safe certified, and have the WTTC Safe Travel certified.
I'm gonna take these chains that have been holding me. Today's the day I'm breaking free. I'm gonna walk away, live to fight another day. Step aside, world, there ain't no stopping me. I'm gonna stand, I'm gonna win. I won't give up and I won't give in. The higher I can climb, the more this life is mine. Step aside, world, there ain't no stopping me. You'll see me blaze a trail to the Milky Way. I told you, world, there ain't no stopping me. Step aside, world, there ain't no stopping me.
KUAM Sports is brought to you by Docomo Pacific. Better together.
What's up, Guam? Dave Delgado here for KUAM Sports. Thanks for watching. Tonight we get the show started with some basketball news on the newly formed Ballers Basketball Club. Check it out. The Ballers Basketball Organization is looking for female players to join their basketball movement. Players of all ages and skill level are welcome to check out the organized scrimmages held at the Guam Sports Complex gym.
So we had a group of about 20 to 30 girls that were constantly coming in the first month or two. Then when we started the exhibition, we had a overwhelming amount of people that wanted to join the club so that they can be a part of something that's really it's going to grow to be one of the best, in our eyes, women's basketball club.
Games are played on Mondays and Wednesdays at the Harmon Gym. There are currently 13 teams with well over 100 plus members registered with the club.
We wanted to open it up for any female that's either first timer, developing, or maybe a mom like Becca who never played in her life. But now she's able to come out on the court and play with her daughters who have graduated from high school.
One of the main goals of the club is to promote the game and give female players more reps on the court, bringing all women together regardless of school affiliation for the love of the game.
We are all about women empowerment. There's not really many places for ladies to come and play. So we are looking for businesses that are in support of that mission. We do have social media platforms like Instagram, Facebook. We do have a YouTube channel pending. We also have a website that you can reach out to us on, ballersguam.com.
There are 4 games held on Mondays and Wednesdays. Games are played with 12-minute running halves. Teams must also have an alumni and adult on each squad.
Our big mission was how can we grow the female community for basketball, for the sport, and get more females to come out and support each other, build better relationships, and just know that as females we can just have fun and strengthen and develop and encourage each other on and off the court.
In other news, each high school on Guam will have the opportunity to nominate 2 graduating scholar athletes for this year's Shea Su Ying Scholar Athletes. They will submit 2 of their top candidates. From that top pool of scholar athletes, they will be narrowed down to the top 10. School principals, athletic directors, coaches, and teachers should screen their nominations. This is not an easy task to give all high schools the opportunity. The new deadline will be on June 16th. Submit all nominations via email to drshay@yahoo.com. Well, that's going to do it for sports. We're back right after this.
KUAM Sports is brought to you by Docomo Pacific. Better together.
It only gets better with more. Customize and save with the fastest internet speeds in the Marianas by adding mobile, phone, and TV to your bundle with Business Bundles Plus. Docomo Pacific Business. Work better together.
Guam's auto appearance specialist, Elegant Reflections, has been providing the automotive industry with professional detailing and car care products at its highest quality, from complete detailing, full interior detailing, exterior detailing, headlamp restoration, hand washing, seat and carpet shampoo, engine degreasing, undercarriage cleaning, paint sealant, fabric protection, paint oxidation removal, and so much more. Visit us at our new location. Call 646-5555 for an appointment. Elegant Reflections, Guam's auto appearance specialist, over 20 years of experience.
And before we close out the news tonight, our latest round of birthday shoutouts from the Cold Stone Creamery Birthday Club.
Your Friday birthday shoutouts go like this, everybody. Happy birthday to Mary Jolene Regis Perez, who has a birthday today. Mary, we are glad you're part of our community, our island family, and all of your friends and family, hey, which include all of us at KUAM, because we're all one island community. We're all wishing you the happiest birthday ever. Have a fantastic Friday, an amazing weekend, and have a great birthday.
Remember, you can be a part of the Cold Stone Creamery Birthday Club by registering online at KUAM.com. Please make sure to include with your name, your photo, and your birth date. And it's that time of the week where we announce the winner of a yummy Cold Stone Creamery cake.
Your winner this week of a ice cream cake from Cold Stone Creamery, the owner of an ice cream cake from Cold Stone Creamery. Let's be honest. Enjoying an ice cream cake this week is going to be Jerry Tyron, who was born on June the 8th. Jerry, congratulations. Happy extended birthday once again from all of us at KUAM and Cold Stone Creamery, and enjoy your prize.
That's going to do it for us here on KUAM's Primetime. Thanks for watching. Good night and have a great weekend.